Go to the three credit agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. All three of those. You can go on there, set up a little account, and you can lock your account. People really need to be aware of. Cybersecurity is what's going on your computer. There's a lot of things that look very real that are also very, very fake.
Slow down. Social media is a very large way to get access to somebody. You click on something, you answer a Facebook.
Somebody got enough information to set up an account. They did it online. If I would have clicked that button to activate that debit card, they would have had access to every single one of my other accounts.
Today's episode is brought to you by Security Financial Management.
Ooh, welcome back to Best Advice Podcast, guys. I'm your host, Rob Lovaglio. Here, as always, with the founders of Security Financial Management, Frank Lovaglio and Dave Allen. Gentlemen, what's cracking?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Years flying by, right? With this weekend, March 1st.
Wow.
Rob's sister, my daughter, getting married.
Yeah.
March 1st, Saturday.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting married. Somebody's getting married.
Dave will be there.
Yeah.
So kind of a big weekend. My list from my wife, Liz, is getting longer and scarier
Yes.
as we go on.
The
We thought we were
honeydew.
done with the wedding, and then Abby said, "Hey, Mom, you think we can throw like a family brunch on Sunday? And let's do it here and have French toast, and let's make it real nice." And Liz was looking at me like,
"What the French toast?"
I'm not going to say no, but holy Toledo,
And
we're
then
not
you start
done.
painting everything.
Yeah. Then I know I got like, hey, that wood board's got a scratch. I'm like, I think it looks great.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
people like
Yeah.
scratches.
We have a couple
I think
days.
they do. I like them.
We have a long couple days. We got Friday, the rehearsal. We got the wedding. Then we have the brunch party. It's a lot of being on.
Wow.
A lot of being on,
You better
yeah.
get that
That's a
smile.
lot. That's a lot, B.
That's a lot,
B.
B. When you get back, you're just going to have to take a nap.
Yeah, I'm taking take some time to myself, but let's get right into it, boys. We like to start each episode with the powerful practice of positive thinking. We like to call this "Give me something good."
All right, I'm ready. I love that.
Some good, don't you?
I'm really excited about this because I think it really resonates with a lot of people. I'm going to get right into this quote that it really hit me hard. Stop complaining about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't put in. The only way to become more successful than most people is to be willing to do something most people aren't willing to do. I mean, that's just so straightforward, right? It's like, hey, why am I, you want to lose 10 pounds? Why am I didn't lose 10 pounds? Well, did you do that?
do it.
Did you go for that run? Did you pump your weights? Did you have that nasty grilled chicken with onions when you really wanted 4 baked potatoes?
4 baked potatoes will.
I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I
It
did.
tastes a lot better,
That's
doesn't it?
right. So anyway, I really like that. I love that beginning. Stop complaining about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't put in, right? It's like you're going to get
That's it.
different results. You didn't do anything different.
Because it doesn't happen by thinking about
That's
it.
right.
You pretty much apply that to every aspect of life, really.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
does. Everything.
any aspect of it.
And don't you also love that statement? It's what you do when no one else is looking.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
That's a good
I love
one.
that
Wow.
one, too.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I
It's
like
what are you
that.
doing when no one else
Yeah.
is looking?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
who you are, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you got
Right.
3 lives. You got your public life, then you got your inner circle, family, and really
Right.
close
Yeah.
friends. And then
So-
you have you. What's going on
What
in
do
your
you-
head?
what do
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Yeah.
So I tell you,
Just-
there's a lot going on in our
Yeah.
heads. Everybody's head.
Too much in this noggin. We were talking this morning. It really relates to this, which was cool. You had mentioned someone. I had mentioned Kobe Bryant. He's not with us anymore. But one of the things about Kobe that I loved reading about is his workouts were like 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
And I remember at one All-Star game, they interviewed me. He goes, "Why do you do that? Why you're up in the middle of the night?" And he said, "Because when I'm working, everybody else is sleeping, and I'm going to be that much better come game time." That's the work you're doing when no one's looking, right?
Well,
Think
about that.
Walter
Awesome,
Payton
man.
said the
He's
same
awesome.
thing. I mean, both these guys are gone.
Yeah, Walter
Yeah.
Payton, tell me about
Yeah,
that.
Walter Payton. As a matter of fact, I saw this on one of those like inspirational Instagram things.
Yeah.
And it was somebody talking about Walter Payton, and I think it was one of the big newscasters or whatever, but he said Walter Payton wasn't the biggest,
That's right. He was not a
he
big
wasn't
guy.
the fastest, probably wasn't the most athletic. And they asked him that question, what is it that makes you the best? He goes, because you're not the biggest, and then went through all those things. And he said, because I on the days that everybody else is not doing something, I'm doing something. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm doing something that they're not doing. And on Sunday, I can do things they can't do.
That's a great.
Sick.
You know, when I read about
Love
him
that.
too, because I love that stuff. I read that, he'd go up these hills. He'd have weights. He'd put a rope with like 20-pound weights on his back, and he'd go up these hills for like 20 minutes. I mean, just straight up with weights, just like people like, what are you doing? It's like when I'm running and someone hits me, I just remember those going up that hill.
Your
and
leg-
people were
your
bouncing.
leg can take that.
People bounce off Walter Payne. Like, this guy is not huge.
I know, it's
That's
amazing.
interesting.
Cool. I
And
like
then-
how people train differently like
train
that too.
differently. It's like,
because
yeah,
everyone's training the same
right,
way. Doing
right.
squats,
Yeah.
It's like, I got to do something different.
He's running up hills with weights on his back. It's like, this guy's an animal.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. But anyway,
Good
that
stuff.
was a good give me something
I
good.
like that.
Perfect.
I
All
like
right.
that.
Let's get to the question of the day. Today's question comes from Kent from Asheville. Kent, what you got for us?
Given the rapid expansion of AI technology, there is growing concern about potential increases in cybersecurity threats. Any effective strategies for protecting personal data? Additionally, can you calm the notice between real and exaggerated cybersecurity threats in today's world?
Thank you, Kent. Gentlemen, please take this over for me, Dave.
Well, this is an extreme topic that is so big, and especially our industry being financial, because our world is full of bad people that want to get what you've worked so hard for. And we have to take such extreme cautions in our business. I mean, as far as when someone wants to wire money or when we're wiring money to somebody for a mortgage, there's always bad people waiting for that money. So we got to be extra cautious. Now, one of the things that people really need to be aware of is cybersecurity. And cybersecurity is what's going on your computer. What are you clicking on? What's coming into your email? And there's a lot of things that look very real that are also very, very fake.
These things happen all the time. So slow down. Social media is a very large way to get access to somebody. You click on something, you answer a Facebook, all of a sudden, your heart goes out to somebody.
Yeah, Frank, on Facebook now, another thing is, one of the things that happens on Facebook is if you have a real traditional looking picture, and it could easily be a picture that somebody might have on a passport. Somebody takes their company's business picture and puts it on there. They steal that picture, and if they've got enough information, they're going to create a fake ID.
Oh yeah, I hear that all the time.
Someone do a fake Facebook of me in college. Where
Yeah,
it's like Rob Lovaglio.
Yes.
My pictures playing basketball, and then like J.D. Swanson was in a picture from high school. It was like me and
Crazy.
J.D. in one. It was the weirdest thing I've ever
Crazy,
seen.
and then they get in, and that's
So
how
weird,
they get in.
yeah.
When the present thing you were telling me about this, even this week, Dave and I heard about this morning, preparing for this show. We were talking about a few things. Well, this one is about an hour old as far as our discovery. So people are mailing gifts to your house, and you're thinking, oh, what a nice little gift, and it'll be a calendar or a nice cross pen or a gift certificate to a local restaurant, and you're like, oh man, I love going there. This is great. And then it'll have one of those codes there,
QR codes?
QR code,
Yeah.
and it'll say, so you know who this is. Hit the QR code. You're thinking, oh, this is gonna be my best friend.
Take your
from
phone and
college.
scan it in.
Right. Oh, it's
So
gonna be one of my buddies. It's probably Rob. My son gave me something. This is cool. It's cutting edge technology. And you click on there. You're all excited about the present. So they got $100 gift or whatever it was to make you realize.
Probably more like $5.
No one's going to give. Well, but that's smarter to go more because give me a gift giver $50.
Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna
got to
find
be
out who
real,
sent it.
right? So you put your create QR code, put your photo up there, and they just infiltrated your entire iPhone, all the passwords. You're thinking hey, this is Johnny, and they're stealing your stuff. So, I mean, that's sophisticated,
That's crazy, man.
but it's crazy. So
I mean, it's kind of genius.
You're a goddamn genius.
it's kind
Very
of
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very smart bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
there's a
bags.
lot of bad people out there, guys. And if they would take that energy and put it into something productive, a lot of really good stuff could happen. But they're putting that energy into very creative bad stuff to steal other people's. On Facebook, another thing you should never do is put on there you're on vacation.
Yeah.
Because if you're on vacation,
Oh
you just
gosh, you just told them your
alerted-
house is open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or like stop your mail, like pause
Yeah.
your mail. Like
I'll be
don't
in
pause
Italy
your
for
mail.
two. I'll be in Italy for 2 weeks. The problem with and we all know this, and this is getting sidetracked, but it's fun. Problem with Facebook is that everybody wants to tell you about their greatest freaking moment. And, because we all like to feel good about what we're doing. But the reality is you don't say, hey, we're going to Italy, we're going to Florence, and we're going to go to the Amalfi Coast. We're going to be gone 19 days. It's going to be awesome. Look at me. I just have a cocktail, toast myself. Now for
So come
19,
rob my house.
So come rob my house because I had to brag about my trip. Maybe you shouldn't brag about your trip and just shut up.
And everyone justifies. There's always people always justify, right?
yeah.
So like, oh, this person's on vacation. He's rich. I can't do that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna justify this and go take what.
And they borrowed $20,000 on their credit card to go.
Yeah.
So
And
they're-
another thing is I really don't care about that hamburger that you just posted.
Yeah.
I do not care about that nice little
nor
salad.
does anyone else.
Nobody cares about your salad.
What are some of the basic stuff? Dave,
Okay,
to look for?
so basically, things. I'm going to give you one more example, and it happened to me, guys, just recently. I was in New York with my son Mitch, and we were going to a World Series game. While I was in the Uber, an email comes in from my bank saying that you have a new debit card. Please click to activate it, and it was from my bank. And so I looked at it. I'm like, I didn't get a new account. Why? And I pulled out my debit card out of my wallet, and it's not expired.
Yeah.
So I called Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo, I just said it, and Wells Fargo said, "Yeah, you set up an account yesterday." No, I didn't. I was in New York City. And so I said, immediately halt, shut my accounts down. And what they had done, somebody got enough information to set up an account. They did it online.
Wow.
And if I would have clicked that button to activate that debit card, they would have had access to every single one of my other accounts.
So they could have basically almost walk into the bank and say, "This is my debit card here. This is."
And they could go right there and they'd set their own pin up and off they go. So be cautious.
Be vigilant. Be
That is
vigilant. They're getting
wild,
better
man.
and smarter. And
So let me give you a couple little tips over the years. When you get one of those phishing scams, they call them phishing, PH phishing, is that the easiest thing is it looks like it's from a legitimate entity. Let's call it AT&T or whatever. Hover over top of that, and it will tell you what the real email is. It'll probably be johnnysmithgmail.com.
email address gets different word, like even from people.
Right.
Like it's from your friend, Beth Johnson, it'll be BJOHSSSON. I mean, if it's not a real email address, when you hover over, you can tell if it's fake.
Assume
Really
it's
that's a great
bad
point.
before. Unfortunately, you got to do this anymore. Assume it's bad before you find out it's right.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Hover over the link. Pay attention to the grammar and the logos inside the email address because a lot of these are coming from other countries, and sometimes the grammar's not good. It's not proper English.
Yeah.
There's misspelled words, and sometimes the logo's wrong or crooked or something.
Yeah.
That's a telltale. Don't do it.
Dave, speaking on logos, I'm going to stop you real quick. The number one cybersecurity threat right now is phishing, which is fake logos, right? So let's play a game real quick and see how well you guys know your logos.
I like it. We get to play a game.
All right, excited.
You two are going to play a game and guess what the right logo is. So you're going to
okay.
see it. You're going to have 5 seconds. It's going to be like Starbucks.
Oh,
nice. Okay.
You guys have to bet.
Oh, that's kind of perfect. That's perfect from what Dave said. Right's the correct one.
Right.
You go next because I'll hog them.
No. You got to get. Okay, yeah, one at a time.
You go. Yeah, this one's yours.
1 point, Frankie.
Yeah.
Nice.
The first one, the more red, the number one on the left.
Dang, you guys are good.
Yeah, I'm up.
It's very yummy.
That one's really
that's a tough one.
close. I'm going to go to the right.
Okay. Oh, you
missed it.
lost
That was
one.
really close.
You lost.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest. I think it's
I don't
before
either.
my
Chupa
time.
chupa?
Yeah.
You're up, Dave.
Oh, God, that's a tough
Close
one there.
too.
This is just going to be a complete guess
They
here.
look the same.
The one to the left.
Okay.
I think you're right. The star.
it's
That
the
one
star,
has a
yeah,
star.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
you're right. All right, I'll do this one.
That's
I'm gonna
hard,
go.
man.
That looks the same. I'm gonna go left because chocolate is brown.
Nice call. Nice. This is the last one.
To the right.
To the right.
Apostrophe.
Okay.
Not bad.
not bad.
Give me
I
some
think that's
skin,
it.
bro.
Okay, cool. So that's good.
That's fun. Just
so-
give maybe one or two more tips.
Yeah, just a couple other things. Well, one that I think is really important is protecting your credit. Okay. Well, first off, never put your Social Security number in anything that's not legitimate. Bank account numbers, things like that. That's important. But one thing that you should do is when you're not using your credit, lock it. Okay. And that's really easy to do. You just go on to Equifax. You can go to the 3 credit agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. All 3 of those. You can go on there, set up a little account, and you can lock your account. And it's really easy. It's a little toggle button. It's locked. And then when you're going to go apply for something, maybe it's an auto loan or a new credit card, you got to unlock it. Because if you don't unlock it, and I got saved on that. I got a letter in the mail about the same time. Somebody must have got a hold of some stuff. I got a letter from Citi that somebody had applied for a credit card, that I'd applied for a card, which I didn't. And the only reason they said we've denied it because we didn't have access because your credits were locked.
Oh, that's good to know. So you actually go online and you can lock your credit?
So you set up an account with Equifax. Okay. It's super simple. With TransUnion and Experian, all 3
go
of them.
online,
and you go on and you can lock it. You can lock your credit. So when they're applying
if you want to go apply for something, you unlock it.
You unlock it,
but it's you unlocking it.
Yeah, and you can actually do a temporary unlock. So you can say unlock this from this date to this date, and if I forget, it's automatically going to go back.
I like that. All right,
so
that's a good tip.
That's so important. Or you can just get one of those services like LifeLock.
And they kind of do it for you.
Yeah, they'll monitor all things, and then they also provide some insurance credit. You know, if you get robbed, and and another thing, in addition to all this stuff, is be very cautious of your bad people are filing your tax returns.
Ooh.
And one way to avoid that is get with your CPA and create an IRS PIN number. If you have an IRS PIN number, nobody can file your tax return without it. You know, I mean, I've had clients call me and say, "Hey, Dave, somebody's filed my tax return," and they can file it all wrong on purpose so that there's a big refund.
They get the
refund
money.
Comes in.
It's under your name.
Yeah, when you go to file your tax return, your accountant says your return's already been filed.
Wow.
That's a tough one. As far a couple other things, shred everything. But don't shred with the normal shredder. Use a micro cut shredder because believe it or not, if you had one of those shredders that just creates the long strings,
you put that back together.
If it's the one that's
what they do is a bad person can see a box of shredders
and they just go in.
Well, know what? They take that bag and they dump it into these machines that will put the puzzle back together.
What?
Golly, I know that.
They can take all your shredded stuff and put it all back together. So the computer grabs all the different images and tosses them all back together and completes your page.
That reminds me of that movie where they just did it manually. And remember the Iran crisis? Yeah. When I'm trying to think the actor in it, that they shred a bunch of documents because they had tried to leave the embassy, and they had a bunch of Iranian students take the shredders, and they were able to put it all back together and look at the people that were trying to get out of the country. They were Canadians, and they went back to Canada. I forget the name of the movie, but they took all the shred pile and they manually put it together and identified the people.
Well, now they don't even have to manually put it together. Now you can put it in
put
it into it. They dump it in,
that's scary.
And the computer puts it back together.
That's actually really scary. Yeah.
That's why you use a micro cut shredder because it chops it all up and makes little pieces and ruins it. That's the way to avoid it.
That's crazy.
So there's all kinds of different things.
Yeah,
we
that's
talked
good.
about Facebook. We talked about be vigilant and don't click on the things that don't look real. Lock your credit. And if anybody needs to know about this stuff, I know there's a whole lot more things than this. Also, make your investment statements and your bank statements paperless. Because guess what? Bad people are going to your mailbox also. And if they see something from of an investment firm, they open it up and they kind of know what you have.
Yeah. Yeah, they got it. Yeah.
So there's lots of different things like that if anybody wants any more information, reach out to us. We can give you some good advice. What are the good vendors to go to? Password protection. Change your passwords.
Yeah.
Create complex passwords.
Also, multifaceted identification.
Yeah, was it two-factor?
Yeah, don't just do a password, but you have to send something to your phone. Yeah. So then, if you have access to your phone, they can't just get a password and they're done. They have a second multi-identification factor.
It's
worth it though.
Yeah.
You hit the phone, then there's a code, then you put the code in. That way, if they just steal a password, they're not off to the races. So I think that's a healthy kind of menu of things. If you want more, call us. We'd love to dig in and help you any way we can.
I hope that helps, Kent. If you want to schedule with one of our advisors here at SFM, I'm going to leave a link in the description for you. Remember, folks, the secret to wealth is not what you earn, it's what you keep. Happy days, everybody.
This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only and is not intended as personal financial advice. Before making any financial decision, please do your own research and consult a financial advisor as needed.